everyone, I'm checking if it's working. Okay, I can see myself now, so it should be working. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me well? As usual, you know that this is the biggest concern I have when we start those streams. I always want to make sure people can hear me well. Is this the case? Can you guys hear me? See that there are a few of you watching, so yeah, if you can confirm to me that everything is working fine. Okay, you can hear me well. Matt Remar, welcome to the chat. You're saying it's a bit low, so I will mostly try to get this microphone a bit closer to me, and if it's still too low, just let me know and I will increase the volume. I'm usually always freaking out to have the volume too high, and on my side it's always pretty close to saturating, so I just don't want to cause any trouble. If everyone is fine with that, we'll start right away. First of all, I'd like to apologize for the short delay. We had one or two players that came a bit late with the registration. I decided to add them because this week there will be no recorded fight night. I managed to have enough time so that I can have all of you in the session that we have today. You want 20% louder. That's very specific. Let me see if I can do that for you. I'm just checking first of all if everything is there. And yeah, let me see if I can get that a bit louder. So let's see if I can get it a bit louder. Come on. It's already quite high at the moment. I cannot really make it a lot louder without having it screw everything up. Is it a bit better or is it still very low for you guys? On my side, I'm not really hearing the return. I usually cut it because otherwise it's, I don't know, it resonates. It feels like I have somebody else talking at the same time than me, even though it's pretty in sync, but always sounds a bit weird for me. It's fine. Okay, so we'll be able to start. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the fight night once again. What I was mentioning just earlier is that we had a small delay because I added a few players in a bit at the last moment because they contacted me and it's people that did not necessarily have this issue usually, so I decided to add them. But just before going live, I realized that the players list was not right. Like there was one player that I added that managed to make his way all the way back to the top, and whatever I would try, it would end up being back at the top again. So I had to re-roll the players list. So I already edited it on Discord if you want to check, and I will be posting it in a second. No, actually, it's already updated as well on YouTube. So you should be able to find the new list. That's why I'm going to wait a few minutes before starting, since we start with the regular hardcore players this time around. The first player will be Tsa. Then we have Gamer, Collie, Rune, we have Ghostin, Shelias, Gradinold, Praetor, Admiral, Dead Ripping Hood, Zatos. That should be the first 10 or 11 players that we'll get. I'm just waiting a little because, yeah, it's this kind of weird thing that when you, well, let's make it simple. When you want to change the players list on the fight night, it can easily get messy. And yeah, I don't know why. Basically, when you add a player afterwards, it gets to the top. That's fine. You can manually move it back to the bottom. But when you add several, for whatever reason, whenever I would refresh to move the second one, then there's another player that would have moved somewhere, and I don't know why. So I ended up having to reshuffle everything. I'm just gonna wait 1 or 2 more minutes and we'll be able to start. So if you are in touch with any of the players I mentioned. So that would be Tsa, Gamer, Koli, Rune, Ghostin, Shelius, Tradinold, Praetor, Admiral. If you want to let them know that the list has been reshuffled, please go ahead. Otherwise, it's okay. They will be able to watch the replay anyway. But yeah, I'm just waiting 1 or 2 minutes in case they are able to join. And yeah, today we'll have plenty to talk about. We'll be talking to you about the Global Red Boss and what are the next step with the event. We'll be talking a bit about the current Twisted Curse event. I'm still not used to call it this way. Internally, until last week, for me, it's always been the Ground Show event. Of course, it doesn't make any sense outside of December, so it's normal that we change the name, but I'm not familiar with the name yet, so I hope I will be able to stick to it and call it Twisted Curse event during the entire conversation today and all the time. I mean, except maybe next December, because if it lines up with an end of an era, I'm quite sure we'll take the occasion to make it a Ground Show event again, even if it's the same, but just the character would be different. But yeah, anyway, we'll see about that. For now, I think we should be able to start. As always, I'm just rechecking that the event is running on the proper accounts. Everything is set correctly. So Tsa should be our first player for today. Let's go. Okay, it's working as intended. So yeah, obviously Stormcaller should be a big deal for today with the event that is running. On my side, given the different things we had to work on in the couple of last days between the Global Red Boss and the release of the Twisted Curse event, I did not really have the time to change and modify much my army, which is why also I decided today that you would have all the players going in, because I knew it's gonna be rather fast and I'm gonna lose a lot. Kim, you're asking what's up with Living Bark. Actually, I've been surprised about that myself as well today. Long story short, what happened is that it was meant to be in the list of units we wanted to change. Few minutes before I posted the announcement about the event, it was said it would not be done in time with this version, so I took it out of the patch notes, etc. And earlier today, when we did a deploy for something else, which I think is for the special offers that will come soon, since everything was ready, they decided to push it as well to make it even slightly more entertaining. As you know, there's still the new Power Stones to come as well. That should be tomorrow. So the idea is to keep the event entertaining all throughout the week. To be fair, in general, especially for units, we'll try to have it go in one go, or if it's in several go. I don't mind, but in that case we should announce it like we did for the Power Stones. So that's something I already discussed with the team, that if we feel like we might be pushing a unit that we took out at the last moment, that's okay. But in this case, I much rather have it announced and just explain to people that it's gonna come slightly later. Or another thing we could have done is just tease the fact that, hey, we have another unit that will be also buffed in just a few days. This way, at least people know that there's one more unit coming. Yeah, it shouldn't be a huge game changer. I mean, I think you're seeing pretty much that the main effect is not necessarily there, but yeah, it would be interesting to correct that for future iterations. Ultimately, it's only the second time that we run this event, and we've had the change with the artifacts, which is what we focused our attention on a lot to work on it. The plan with this will be now that we should have that with every end of the era. So last week of an era should always come with this event. At least that's the goal. I hope that we'll be able to stick to it with the next eras right away. But in any case, within 2-3 eras max, it means every end of an era, the last week you would have the Twisted Curse event, and that would mean units, special power stones, buffs on artifacts as well, and yeah, that's the main elements. One thing we tried, as you will see tomorrow with the offers for power stones, is we knew that it would not make sense to have those new power stones added to the existing power stones pack, because as some players pointed out, the problem there is that the people that already bought power stones for this season would feel that they've been screwed over to some extent. But the other side is also true, that some people would be annoyed if they've been a bit late to buy power stones, that they have an even bigger pool of power stones now to work with. Especially, I mean, for this era it's okay, but imagine it in the what's the corrupted era, the one where you have all the corrupted power stones and where the pool of power stones is already super big. If you add others on top, it would be a bit much. So we decided to make it a different offer, where those that are interested in buying this power stone just for the few last days and having fun with that can go for it, and they know they're gonna get those power stones pretty much. So that's the idea that we're working with, and we are very open to the feedback in terms of what type of balancing would you like to see with a next iteration of this event. Is there a specific unit you would like us to buff? Would you like it to be themed, like to say, hey, you know, this Twisted Curse event will be super favorable to this kind of builds, or to that kind of build, for example, or to a specific faction, or whatever that would be. If you have any idea like this, just let us know and we'll be super glad to look into it. We could also have events where it's not always units plus power stones plus artifacts. We could have some where there might be no units but all the artifacts are touched. If you guys would be interested in that, we can switch things around pretty much. We're quite flexible with this one. The one specific thing we need to keep is the power stones, because that's what makes this event also driving a bit of revenues, let's be honest. So that's also the part that it will be hard for us to not include power stones at all because of that. But anything else that you would be interested in, let us know. On the longer run, for example, something I would like for us to be able to do is to have a new skin being released around that point for the unit, or one of the key units that we're going to buff. So for this iteration, to me, the key buff was definitely the Stormcaller. I would have find it amazing if at the same time we are releasing a specific skin for the Stormcaller, so that people can use it to troll also. I feel like that would have been a good combination. We are not quite there yet to be able to do this, but that's something we're considering as well, like having either a brand new skin or releasing the skins of the buffed units to go with the event. So that could be something that becomes interesting as well, not only for the fights, but also for the things around it. Let's say that for the 3 days or the 7 days of the event, we have a new wardrobe with only skins for those units, but you have a bigger selection of skins, and we make it for Eternite, for example, or something like this. That could be interesting to have something like this to create even more hype around the event. But yeah, as I was saying, any feedback you guys have, anything you would like to see with this event, feel free to go for it. That would be quite interesting for us. to have more ideas to work with. So yeah, waiting for your feedback there. And in general as well, we would also like to get your feedback on how far we can go with these temporary buffs and nerfs. Meaning, if you feel like, hey, you could even go crazier, increase the stats even more, or if you feel like, no, it's already too much, maybe next time go for a nerf or a buff that is a bit lower. That's also the type of feedback we'd like to hear. So feel free to let us know, not necessarily right now, but in the coming days when the event is coming to an end, that would definitely be valuable for us. So yeah, I don't know, is there any comment, anything that you guys want to discuss about this event in general? Otherwise, I will jump to another topic because we have a few things we can talk about today. Okay, so I guess we are able to start with another topic. So the main one is obviously the global red boss. The first thing to mention is that I would like to thank you guys again for stepping in and helping us during this beta test. Emma Tremar, you're asking why you got an extra divination wagon today. That's a good question, actually. I will recheck with the team because we granted a wagon for the a festival of Veil Dragon for the compensation of the Veil Dragon. But yeah, this one I was not aware of. I mean, I will check with the team, but in any case, we're not going to take it back, right? So even if that was not planned for whatever reason, enjoy it, guys. That's on us. But I will check why this happened. Maybe it was something that was planned as well, just to get a bit more hyped around the event that is currently going. That could be the reason. But yeah, definitely something that I will check on. And so yeah, since I was on the topic of the Global Red Boss, I wanted to thank you guys a lot for helping us with the beta test. It's been a hell of a ride to get that event going. It's been months of working on that and delay it, polish it, etc. As you've seen, we're not quite there yet. There are a few things to correct that are like key things to correct. Let's put it this way, and some smaller stuffs as well. I see, yes, Kim, you were asking if we can sync up the skirmish events so it starts at the same time as the red boss. Yes, I've been already forwarding that to the team. Long story short, it's because of the time changes, the summertime. It basically got confusing on some events and not others. I will recheck with the team, but I don't see any reasons why we wouldn't get everything synced up as it used to, because I saw that a few people were confused about the event starting time last time. So the other reason as well for the events that started on Monday is that we wanted to wait for the Global Red Boss event to be re-triggered. We re-triggered the event on our internal site just for you guys to get the rewards. But because of that, it might be as well that the team didn't want to have everything going all at once. And that might also explain the delays. But that's something I will recheck. Yosef, you're asking if you missed anything in the news. So far, we're mostly talking about the current Twisted Curse event. I'm not used to that name yet, but that will come. And I was saying that we're hoping for any form of feedback that we could get there. And yeah, Kim, that's what I was saying for the starting time. I think on Monday there was something particular, so that might be the reason. But you also said that the bounty end starts 1 hour later. I need to check because, so there are two things. On paper, we would be all fine with having those events that are running for a certain time to start at the same time. I need to check also if it's possible to have all of them start at the same time or not. If some of them used to start at the same time, there's no reason not to go for it. But we might not have everything start at the same time as well, because that might be putting a bit too much stress on the game. But we'll see. Like stuff that used to start at the same time, there's no reasons not to keep going with this. So yeah, definitely something to check with the team, and yeah, I will keep you posted on that. And yeah, Yosef, to go back to your question, you didn't miss too much outside of the Twisted Curse event. We were just starting to talk about the global red boss. On my side, I was mostly thanking you guys for helping us out with this event. I can already tell you that the event will come back quite soon. It should be back in a bit less than 2 weeks, so it would be the second week of the next season. That's the goal that we have at the moment, and it will include a fix, obviously, for the issue that prevented players to, well, top players to enter the game, etc. That's obviously the first thing we worked on, but the goal is to also have the rewards in place. There won't be the final rewards, like stuff that will not touch for years, but the idea is that for the next event there should be rewards that are worth the effort already. That will be the first thing to come there. Hey, so you're asking, I think it's Duskan, if I remember correctly, you're asking why there's not a timer on the red boss instead of saying global red boss not available. So the way it works at the moment is that it's saying this because so far there's no regularity within the event. When we have a regularity within the event, that should be a bit different. What should happen is that the event should not be available at all when there's no boss running. It should be available when the event is about to start. And so the only cases where you should see red boss not available would be once the event is over and you are collecting your rewards, because there will always be like a few some hours for that, or a day or two, I don't know yet. And it should also show if you didn't fit the requirement, which is you're not yet at rank 7, because that's when we have decided to unlock this global red boss. So that should be the only cases when you see that. The rest of the time you shouldn't be having to worry about when it comes next. But again, once we have more regularity, it will be a lot easier for everyone, because everyone will know pretty much when to expect it as well. At the moment, what we would hope for, if it runs well, is to have it either 2 times per era or 3 times per era. That's what we look at the moment. And if it works super well and everyone's super happy about it, we might even make it every other week of a season. But so far, it's way too early to say if this event could go to that rhythm, especially with all the other smaller events running at the same time. What I can tell you though is that we are reworking the rewards. As I said, the rewards for the beta were expected to be very, very low, but despite all the warnings we tried to use with the word beta being even visible in the game, with the in-game news, with the announcements we shared a bit everywhere, and with all the streams I've done on that, it seems like a lot of players still had no idea that the rewards would not be great, and they didn't even check the rewards in the event because they would have seen that they were not that great, and that's definitely not good. So we shuffled a bit the priorities for the next iterations. 2 priorities. First one is fix the bug that prevented the event from running normally. Second priority is get the rewards set properly, so that, as I was saying earlier, it's not going to be the final list of rewards, because there are some stuff we'd like to add going forward, etc. But at least it should be rewards that are worth the effort and going for it. It will be at the beginning pretty similar to the type of rewards that you have in the general in the clan red boss, except that it will focus less on artifacts, given that for the top players, at least, so for the top rewards, they don't necessarily need it as much, and it will focus much on stuff that you can use actually for the game. So that will be probably gold in slightly, well, in bigger amounts than what you have in the events, but that might be also gems. I'm not sure how much it goes. There will still be elixirs and stuff like that. There will be a lot of different rewards. We are working on adding something going forward. As I already mentioned a few times, we're looking at adding something that allows you to double or triple or quadruple the rewards you're getting from your fights for a certain duration. So it's like a 1 day or 2 days or 3 days boost, and the gold or the XP that you get in every fight is getting doubled or tripled. It might be that something like this is included in the top rewards to motivate people to go for it as well. So yeah, I can't really say exactly yet what the rewards will be, and going forward there will be more, but I can guarantee that the next iteration shouldn't be with the crappy rewards that you had in the first run. We were definitely all kind of disappointed when we saw a lot of players not knowing that it was going to be this way. We thought we made it as clear as we could, but that's definitely a lesson for us. So we will make sure that this is worked on. After that, there are still quite a lot of stuff we want to work on for the global red boss. There are a lot of different ideas. I'm not sure what will come right after, but there are also some small bugs that we need to sort. So in the bug section, the stuff we need to work on is the notification issues, that basically you get notification in the regular boss, like the clan red boss, when using a key in the global red boss. That's something we need to sort. There are a few display issues here and there that we need to sort as well, and we'll also then look at adding possibly other leaderboards. So as you know, on the long run, we might have a clan leaderboard. I say we might. I know in the past I was more sure about that. The only reason is because it depends on the progress we do with the clan wars. Meaning, if we see that things are going rather fast, we might not have a clan leaderboard in this, so that the focus of the event remains an individual one, and the clan wars would be the big thing for the clans. If we see that clan wars would take way too long and will probably not be there for a while, we might have an actual clan leaderboard in this event to generate some competition there. The other thing, the interesting discussion we had with Matt Remar on the rankings for the damages, it's something we're still looking into. I do not know yet what the solution will be, but the idea would be that either there's one leaderboard like we currently have that shows all the tries added up, and there's another one that is basically for the best try, or maybe the best 3 tries, but that that would be clearly stated, like it's only this that we take into account. Or the other option that could exist is to grant a bonus for your best try, so that your best try is weighted way more than all your other tries. It might be a bit more complex to do, but it might also avoid having tons of different individual leaderboards that might get a bit confusing, and that would potentially still allow everyone to have a different approach and strategy about it, because a super good player that has been there for a super long time can basically focus on having the best try, and then everything else is just gonna feed a bit on their global score, while someone that might not be able to reach that score can still try to grind the leaderboard and get higher by having more tries than some others. So it would leave a bit more room for strategies. I do not know yet if that's the direction we'll go with, but the discussion we've had on that topic was definitely quite interesting, and there's definitely some learnings from there for us to make the event work a bit better. The way it was set up for us was pretty much, we took the recipe that existed in the Clan Reds, and because of that, indeed, we didn't realize that there might be this issue. For those that don't know, what happens is that in the leaderboard right now, the score that you see is the score for your 10 best tries, but your ranking is actually based on your total damages done on the boss. That's for the damage leaderboard. So there are two problems with that. The first one is, and that's the one we'll fix rather easily, it's that we need to display the good number. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the 10 best tries or not. What matters is that in any case we should display the proper damage, the global damage, because otherwise you don't have a visibility of how far you are from basically potentially defeating the next guy, you know, and rank up. So that's definitely something we need to fix. Otherwise, the competition would be kind of blind and not as interesting. And then the other aspect, which is what Matt Remar brought to the table, is this, not the common table, just the table, is the fact that it means that at this point, if someone wanted to use an insane amount of keys and way more than anyone else, then this person would be at an advantage regardless of if they're super strong with the boss or not. Of course, it's kind of an extreme situation for it to really, for a player that would be really far down to get to the top, but indeed, for players that would be already at the top, it would end up being about how much tries you can get to go out. And so one option, as I was saying, was to add another leaderboard that would be just about your best try, so that we still value whoever had the best try on the boss. The other option we are looking at is to have, as I was saying, potentially a multiplier for your best try, so that you know that your best try is going to be, you know, I don't know, multiplied by 20, and then all the other tries are just one try. So that means if you were able to get a best try that is way better than anyone else, that corresponds to like 20 more keys than anyone else or something like this. So I don't know what direction this will be and what we'll do, but those are some options we're looking into at the moment, and we'll see what worked best. We'll check also with you guys what you would like to see in there. To finish up on the global red boss on my side at least, one thing I can tell you as well is that we want other global red bosses. So the design of the boss itself, the idea is that we want to have like 4 or 5 of them during this year, so that we can rotate them and it's not always going to be the same, etc. for you. But the idea as well is that at one point they might also go into your clan red boss, meaning using those designs so that you get new clan red bosses as well. There's a bigger pool, it's going to change more often. You won't have necessarily the boredom of having always the same 4 or 5 bosses. You would have way more of them, because there would be a pool maybe of 10 or 12 coming in at one point, and we would keep the novelty of a new boss for the global red boss first, and so that's something we are looking at. Of course, we would probably not do that indefinitely and end up with 50 different designs, but the idea is that we want to make sure that there's less feeling of repetition, which is already, you know, that's something we also felt initially with the eras, and that's why we wanted to add an era when we joined, when we started on the game, because we felt like we needed one era more so that the pattern of repetition of the eras basically gets delayed a little, and we want to do the same with the bosses as well, so that there's more excitement about the next boss coming in. It's not only the design, obviously, it's also the patterns and, you know, the strategies you need to use. This way around, we might also have at one point a system where you don't necessarily know which one comes next, which is something we think could be quite interesting as well. And yeah, I know as well that right now there are only power stones effects to the red bosses, but on the long run there might be artifacts on top of the existing power stones, so the global red boss would be even stronger. For the next iteration, we'll also be reworking a bit the health of the red boss, so it should take longer to defeat. I'm still expecting that for the first few iterations, it's gonna be rather easy to be defeated by the community, and that's mostly because at the moment we have one technical limitation, is that for the time being we need to stick to 999 lives maximum, which is really not that much, even if we make the lives a lot harder to take down. At one point we'll be able to go to the thousands and more, but we need again some code changes there, because otherwise it's basically shrinking and you cannot see on your screen. On a small phone you would not be able to read what the number of life remaining is, so that doesn't work. We need basically to implement a letter system, you know, so once you go to 1k it's 1k and not 1000, and if we go this way we will be able to scale up the number of lives a lot more, because that means we would be free to go to at least 99k lives before that starts to be an issue again. 99k lives would be obviously already changing the situation quite a fair bit. I'm not saying we'll go to 99k lives, right? Except if one day we have way more players and everyone is crazy about it, but that would be for the longer run. So yeah, on my side, that's mostly what I wanted to share with you regarding the global red boss. I don't know if you guys have any further questions, further remarks, feedback. With all the issues that popped up, I did not get any feedback either on how it looked, and if you liked the Chimera ID that we used for the global red boss. Yeah, just let us know how you felt, and if the event was entertaining for the time that it ran, if it's something you're interested in, if you have any idea for stuff you would like for us to implement. Yeah, I didn't mention it today, but I mentioned it a few times already. We also would like to have achievements linked to the event, so that would mean pretty much somebody that is not aiming to be in the top 100 still has reasons to contribute, outside of just getting the better reward because the boss is entirely defeated. Those challenges, those achievements could be, you know, deal X damage to the boss, take 2-3 hearts from the boss, beat the boss at level X, or those kind of things that will kind of push you to contribute to get some rewards. Yeah, so that basically everyone should find a reason to go for this event as well. So yeah, that's mostly what I could share on my side for the boss, and I think we are already getting not too far from the end, because I remember we had less than 100 players. Yeah, we have 98. Yeah, so we have 9, 10, 11, yeah, 12, probably 12 players left to go. I don't know how to count anymore, even though there's the auto spin number on there, so I should be able to know that it was just 12 players left, now 11. guys have any further feedback for me? Anything else you would like to bring up? After that, we'll be going for the easy mode. This time around, I decided to do it the other way around, switch things up a little from time to time and not keep you waiting for your turn, because I know most of the people that are in the chat here, most of you guys are in the hardcore mode most of the time. So yeah, there's less anticipation for what's to come in this case. And there's been a few victories on my side. That's at least that. So yeah, what else should I share with you guys? This month we should be sharing with you guys the community roadmap, as we've done for February, March. So this time will be for April, May. I hope to have it ready by next week. It will be pretty straightforward because you guys know what's coming for the biggest part. We're mostly getting the global red bars going and things sorted there. But there's a few other stuffs we're working on. We should have an update with a new ad provider. So hopefully the issues with ads will be gone, and then I'm not sure if it's gonna be in May or in June, but we want to have new ads added into the game as well. When I say new ads, I'd like to point again, it's not gonna be any mandatory ad. It's something that we'll basically just offer for you guys to use, and if you don't want to, you don't have to. So yeah, we'll be looking into that. There are a few different ones. I know that there's one that allows you to skip some of the final waiting time for a wagon in your camp. I know that there's one that will allow you to get more rewards at the end of a fight. So that would exclude auto spin. Or rather, no, it will also work in auto spin, but it will work like, on this very screen right now. You will have the button, there will be the 3x seconds that the panel is there, and if you don't click on it, it will just go. So that shouldn't block you during the auto spin. And there will also be one, if I remember correctly, to increase the limits of what you will get in your camp resources. So you could increase the gold you're getting and the XP, etc. So that's mostly what will come soon. After that, as I was saying earlier, we have the feature we're working on. I think it's Noobsos is the last player for this round. We'll have the feature that allows you to multiply the gold and the XP you're getting for an extended period of time. This one will most likely be something that you need to purchase, kind of like a season pass, because technically it's a bit of a similar system. Not saying it will be in the similar price range though, I don't think so, but just to be clear that this one will probably be something you need to purchase, but smaller ones for smaller duration might be available as reward in certain events, and might also be something you can get for gems. So I can't really say yet exactly, but that's one thing we're looking at the moment, and it should come rather soon indeed. Let me close the event and get you guys your rewards. And okay, so now we can move to the other accounts. And if you guys have questions to ask, you should hurry, because the easy fight will probably be done rather quickly. So if you have any question, anything, feel free to ask. In the meantime, just need to verify that everything is there. Yes. Okay. That is okay. Just a second. It's setting. Everything is set there. Yes. Event is live, and we have 29 players in the easy section for today. Should be ready to go. Yeah, okay, that was fast. I didn't see this one coming. So yeah, if we only have bombs, you know, for trophy dropping or however you want to call it, it's not gonna be a fun fight, but let's see. And I'm trying to see if there's any other elements that I didn't share yet on what's coming next, but I can't really think of anything else that I didn't share with you guys already. Trying to see, but I don't think of anything right now. So, yeah, I thought I would have stuff to talk for an hour and a half today, but I'm already out of topics to talk about. So that means I will have to talk to you about me and my life and stuff like this, which is not always the most interesting, especially if I'm just speaking alone. But yeah, again, ultimately for the game at the moment, our core focus is getting things sorted and running for the global red boss, because it's really the type of events that we would like to further implement in the game. As you know, the clan wars will be something of this sort, but even bigger. So for us, it's important to prove to ourselves that we're able to do that, get it going, and once the event is properly rolling, that would mean we are in a good spot to focus on delivering the clan wars, which from our perspective is still, no matter how we look at it, going to be the biggest feature that has ever been introduced by us into the game, that's for sure. But even if we look at everything that Traplight did, I'm not sure that there would be one feature that would really be of the scope of the actual clan wars. They did a lot though, don't get me wrong. They definitely did a lot and brought a lot to the game in terms of features. So far we've only brought very, very minor stuff feature wise. But yeah, the clan wars would be a very big thing. I hope we'll be able to get that delivered this year. I'm not promising anything because it's really gonna be big feature. But if we are able to do that, that would really be an amazing thing to witness. And I would be super happy to see you guys go absolutely nuts to fight in the clan wars and see the guys and the drama that will come from there as well. I guess the Discord will not be that much of a nice place to be in around the time we would have the clan wars first release, but yeah, it will be entertaining, that's for sure. So things are already running quite fast in this section. We already have 11 accounts gone. There's like 16 left, 17. It's really going super fast, but yeah, that's the way it is. Actually, those clan, I see that you will come around the end. Yeah, you still have a few. You still have a few accounts before it's your turn, but it will come quite soon. Why is this royal shipment still having the Christmas decorations? I never really realized before that they were not always using the same battlefield for the royal shipment, and just seeing the Christmassy, wintry one just really stood to me, really took me by surprise there. We still see quite some level 4 artifacts in there. Grey Goo, you could have gone directly to the hardcore level. You're not a Padawan anymore. Well, it's not Grogu, it's Gregu, but you get the idea. You can be a Jedi Master already at this point. So right now I'm experiencing one of the things that are always scaring me is that because there's not been talks for quite a while in the chat, I get into this thinking that the chat isn't properly updating, and so I'm refreshing the page regularly, because it does happen during streams at times that the chat is not refreshing at all. But that's not the case here, so that's just me being a bit lonely for the rest of the stream. It's not going to be too long, so that's okay. But you guys need to talk to me. That's the reason why we do this, right? It's not just to listen to myself talk for 2 hours. Well, for 1 hour today, but you get the idea. Checking as well. So, I don't think I'm gonna hear from you anymore until the end. I feel like a kid that has been, you know, that got lost in a super big supermarket and doesn't know where his parents are, you know. I'm getting confused. I don't know if I should just go and talk to the lady at the entrance to get my parents called so that they can come and pick me up, because I don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore right now. I have no one. Okay guys, yeah, anyway, we're getting almost to the end of this stream. As always, for all of those of you that are still watching and those that will be watching in replay, it's been a pleasure, and really we need your feedback regarding the current Twisted Curse event. So any feedback you have, go and let us know. It's gonna be super helpful. But it's also true, and I want to reiterate that, regarding the Global Red Boss. Again, for the Global Red Boss, thank you guys for helping us out during this beta phase. No matter how we want to look at it, it's the kind of things where it will never be possible for us to test it as well as we do when it goes live. There are a lot of things that simulations of traffic, etc., will never allow us to get. Actually, on the positive side, I can tell as well that the server was still responding pretty well, even when we had spikes of activities on the event, so that's good. But really, we need your help. Any feedback you have, even regarding, as I was saying, the design of the boss, the patterns, the attacks. Did you enjoy the fact that it had several phases? Even though I know a lot of you were not able to see all the phases because it was defeated quite quickly. But that's still very, very interesting for us. Actually, since we are talking about the phases, that's also one bug we have to fix. I'm not sure it's going to be fixed for the next iteration already, but it's been forwarded to the team. The fact that when the boss has no art left to be taken down, you don't have any visibility on his health bar anymore, which kind of makes sense, but also means that if you are coming a bit late, or if you still want to grind the event, right now you have no way to know what is going on, because if it's more than 10 tries, for example, your score might not show as changing, so that will change as well. But for now, that's definitely a small issue that we need to get resolved. Hopefully that shouldn't take too long, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be directly in the next iteration or after. As I told you guys, for the next iteration, the focus is really getting the main bug fixed. So that is already done. Getting the rewards in, that should be done before the next iteration. Getting the health of the boss already adjusted. Those are the core issues that we wanted to get resolved for the next iteration. And from there, it will keep on improving. It's an event that might still take some iterations before it's really up to the expectations. And then there will be more add-on to the features, so not necessarily changes, but as I was saying, adding achievements or adding different leaderboards. I see those more as add-ons to the existing event, but that will definitely come as well. So again, since we are coming close to the end of that of the stream, guys, if you have any feedback on this event, on the Global Red Boss, let us know. If you have any feedback on the Twisted Curse event, let us know on Discord. You can also reach out to us on other platforms if you want to, but you know, via support or even via Facebook, etc. We just want to hear from you and improve the game based on that. Those are, you know, the events like this, it's really the core of what we want to do for the game. There are other stuff that will come, obviously, but this is a big chunk of things that we were not able to do yet up until now. But that's one of the things we want to implement, you know, the Grand Show event and I think we finished already. The Grand Show event, the Global Red Boss, the Clan Wars. If we can get all of that out already, that would really improve the game experience for a lot of players quite a fair bit. So I hope we'll be able to do that. If you have any feedback, let us know. And for the time being, I'm just gonna grant you guys your rewards. Just a second. Yep. Okay, so that should be done. Your rewards should be out now. And so with that out of the way and the rewards given out, it will pretty much be it for today's stream. Precisely 1 hour. Thank you guys again for joining us today, and we'll talk to each other in about 2 weeks. Thank you again. Have a wonderful evening. Bye.